which is a psychological term for a person that doesn't want to accept the world that they're living in, man. And that's what all of these people are. They're in a state of denial, man. Okay? Except for, if you're an elite banking family, or if you're one of the people that are, of close ties to Israel that are coming into this world and you understand this word. Okay? Those are only people that are in reality. They're in goal mode. Okay? But let's get back onto the scriptures. The book of 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, and the first verse, it says, "And he answered me and said, Measure thou the times diligently when in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs past, which I have told thee, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he has made." So when you're going to see these signs, these was going to be the times when the Lord was going to come and visit the world which he had made. Okay? And says, "Therefore when they shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand what the Most High spoke of these things, right, from the days that were before thee, right, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made within the world hath a beginning and the end is manifest, okay, even so the times of the Most High have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful effects, and endings in effects and science." Okay, so you was going to get them signs. So back within the book of, before I get into the topic, okay, so back in the book of Thessalonians, okay, the 5th chapter and the 1st verse, it says, "But of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need to arouse." So you've seen the earthquakes, because the scripture says, watch out for the earthquakes. You've seen the uproars of the people, sedition. Okay, you got people going up and down, talking about reform, economic reform, quantitative ease, and all of that. They're doing what's known as what's the term? What's the exact term for it? Okay, they're out. Basically, you got a collection of people coming up against the government saying, "We want this, that, and the third, man." Okay. All right, they're having strikes. Okay, so you got all kind of uproars, but more on the more physical, the more intense nature. You got it to where people are gonna be, you got what's known as clash, the clash of classes, man. Okay, you're gonna have people at this lower, spectrum of the socio-economic hierarchy coming up against the guys that are at the top, man. But it's just the people that they think that are on the top, because we know that the real people that are on the top, the elite banking families, they work in the shadows, man. Okay, they work in the shadows. So the elite banking families have it to where the so-called middle class is seen as rich and wealthy, and you're gonna have it to where the low class, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, is gonna be coming up against the so-called top tier of Esau, man. Okay, I say so-called top tier of Esau because the real top tier of Esau, you don't see that, man. They don't be out there. They don't even live in the same places where they conduct their businesses and so on and so forth. Okay, here it is. You got it to where the richest families, the so-called Rothschilds and so on and so forth. They run all kind of businesses in London and the U.S. and so on and so forth. But they don't live in them places there. Okay, they just run them businesses over there and make a ton of money, and they're out there somewhere in Europe, man. Okay. But see, when this thing kicks off, you're gonna have it to where Jake, they're gonna jump on them so-called Edomites within their local neighborhood, man. Okay. So it says, "Of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves now know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. And when they shall say peace and safety, then shall be sudden destruction come upon them as a woman that travaileth, and they shall not escape." So you got a situation out here that the Lord is gonna have popping off. And a lot of people ain't gonna be ready for it, man. Okay, especially those of especially of those of Negro, Hispanic, or Native American persuasion, man. They ain't gonna be ready for it, man, because they're in this society trying to maintain, trying to gain and maintain, man. Okay, so I got an article here I wanted to bring out, and this is basically dealing with genocide, man. Okay, because here it is. Even though the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans don't know who their true heritage, right, as pursuant to the book of Jeremiah, the 17th chapter on the 4th verse, which I'm going to get right now. Even though they don't know that heritage, okay, these different nations, they know the heritage of these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and as pursuant to the book of Psalms, the 3rd chapter, which I'm going to get in a second, right, they've taken it upon themselves to destroy the Negroes, to destroy the people of the Lord, man. Okay. Which is the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, or really all Israel are distributed throughout the four corners of the earth, because you got them Punjabs over there, which a lot of them are they're persecuted out there within India. Okay, you got certain Jakes out there within China and so on and so forth, or the Vietnamese, the product of the Vietnam War. Okay, when them U.S. soldiers went out there and they popped all of them Vietnamese women, okay, you got the product, the offspring of all of that, and they're seen as the lowest class of them citizens. Why? Because that goes back onto the scripture in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, on the 64th verse, where it talks about no east, man. Okay, so the Lord was going to scatter us from one end of the earth, even onto the other, and amidst those nations, you wasn't gonna get no east, man. Okay, so let's get into the scriptures here within the book of Jeremiah, the 17th chapter.
Yeah.
Or the 16th chapter on the 4th verse, and it says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from mine heritage, okay, that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land that thou knowest not, because ye have kindled the fire within my heart, which shall burn forever. Okay, so that goes back onto the fact that what? That basically we went off from the Lord's statutes commandments to the Most High, and the punishment of that was going to go from one end of the earth even onto the other end of the earth, and we're going to lose all of our heritage, knowing the fact that we're Israelites, okay, knowing the fact that we're supposed to serve the Most High in a certain fashion and so on and so forth, man. Okay, we lost all of that heritage, man. But see, them different nations, they've taken up Jake and they've swallowed them up, man. Okay, we've become like what the scripture says, like a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. Okay, right? So these different nations, they make all kind of money off us. You know, and once they're done with that, they gonna get rid of you. Here it is, you got it to where you can go, man. Here it is, you got it to where Trump is in office and that, but what's he trying to do? What's one of the first things he's trying to do? He's trying to get rid of the Mexicans, man. Which is what? Which is one of the, which is one of the tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? He's trying to get rid of them because why? Because the Lord set it up to where you wasn't going to get no ease amidst these nations, man. But see, it goes deeper than that, because ultimately what these nations are trying to do now is just completely destroy all of these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. But the Lord's going to raise them up by way of the word coming out here. All right, starting first and foremost with the elders. This word's coming out here, and people are waking up to the fact that, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are waking up to the fact that they're the people of the Most High, man. Okay, and that's documented within the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, and Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. All right, and Revelations, the 11th chapter, which I'll get a little bit later on. Okay, so this is dealing with genocide. Okay, but more specifically, right, the genocide of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Okay, so it says, genocide is a word, right, which may bring forth to mind large-scale ethnic cleansing, of which ultimately the Lord's going to do the large-scale ethnic cleansing, man. All right, because the scripture says within the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse, how the Lord was going to get rid of 2/3 of the people, man. He said the 1/3 is going to go through the fire, the adversities, and so on and so forth. And let's read that within the scriptures, all right, because, hey, one way or the other, you're going to have to go through one form of fire because you're going to be purified, man. Okay, right. But as pursuing to the book of Romans, the 11th chapter, I'll get that first. Romans, the 11th chapter, we know that only the elect's gonna be able to obtain this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right? Okay, so let's get that within the book of Romans, the 11th chapter, on the 7th verse. Okay, it says, "What then Israel hath not obtained that which it seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." Okay, so what does Israel seek for? As pursuing to the book of Romans, was it 10th chapter on the 1st verse? Okay, brethren, my heart's desire is for Israel that they may be saved, because I bear them record that they have a zeal for the Most High, okay, but not according to knowledge. Okay, so they have a zeal. They go into all of they go into Buddhism, they go into Hinduism, they go into Islam, seeking for who? Seeking for the power of the Most High. Okay, they get into all of that, but they haven't got that zeal for the Most High to learn, to decipher. Okay, this, all of this, this doctrine, this philosophy has said all of this, but these things don't link up, man. See, they don't get into it on a level that the men of the Lord get into it, man. They don't get into it like that because why? Because they haven't given that spark, that zeal for the Most High in knowledge, man. Okay? That's why the scripture talks about how their tables was going to become a snare. It was going to be a trap onto them, because even though they don't understand it, they're so fervent in defending that gospel that they're going to destroy themselves, man. Okay? So let's go to the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter. Okay, so here it is. The Most High set it up to where they don't understand the knowledge, wisdom, understanding contained within the scriptures, right? So what's going to be the end of that? In fact, let's go to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah says it best within the book of Isaiah. Was it the 6th chapter, around about the 9th verse? Okay, because it pretty much says the same thing that it says within the book of Romans, the 11th chapter, on the 6th, but Romans 11 and 7. Okay, but it goes a little bit deeper with some respects to their destruction, to the end of it. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, on the 9th verse. He said, go tell this people, he indeed, but understand not. Okay, so they hear the word of the Lord. They see the men of the Lord prophesying out there, man. They see that, but they don't perceive the magnitude of what's being said. Okay, they don't see the magnitude of what's being said. They see the camp signs, but they don't see that that's actually talking about them. Okay, here it is. They go out into these different churches and into these different doctrines, and they're talking about the Israelites and the house of Judah and the house of Benjamin and so on and so forth. But they ain't thinking that's actually talking about them, because why? Because when you go back onto the scripture talks about how they have been blinded from this understanding, man. All right. The scripture talks about how they've been blinded from this understanding to the end that only the elect was going to see and perceive the magnitude of these scriptures, man. Only the elect was going to see the magnitude of these scriptures. And you're going to have it to where guys were going to go cold hard, okay, for defending scoffery, man. They weren't going to be defending doctrine. They was going to be defending their own scoffer ideas, man. Because why? Because the Most High had it to where they got them trapped up within themselves, man. They have stumbled, so they've stumbled within the stumbling block set up within the scriptures, man. Okay, so the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, he said, go tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, make their ears heavy. All right. It says, and shut up their eyes, lest they see with their eyes. So the Lord said, put a curse upon these people, namely the 2/3 of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Ultimately, it really is talking about the whole nation, okay? It's talking about the whole nation, because we all went through a period of time that we didn't know who we was, man. Talking about slavery, okay? Right? Slavery, you didn't know you was an Israelite. You couldn't come up to Master and tell your Master, I'm an Israelite. Look, I ain't supposed to be within this position that you're putting me in. You didn't know that. You couldn't do that because you didn't know that. Okay, you couldn't do that because you didn't know that. Because why? Because the Most High pulled away his back from us. He had pulled away the spirit that he had put upon us, right, and took it away. Now we get into that time as it's going to be a document within the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. We're getting into that time where the Most High is putting our breath upon his people, man. Okay, and you seeing brothers rising up all over the place saying, Esau, you're going into slavery. You heathen nations, you're going into slavery. Okay, this kingdom's going to be destroyed, man. Okay, and who's going to be ruling the next kingdom? The Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. You're seeing that throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Okay, all through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Shemi, outside. But going back onto the point I was making, we all went through a period of time where that curse applied to us. Now that curse applies to the 2/3, man. Right, the 2/3, because 2/3 of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, they gotta be destroyed, man. They gotta be destroyed, man. The scripture says their wickedness is surpassed the deeds of the wicked. Because here it is, you had the righteous thing. You had the righteous over here. Okay, they seen the works of the heathens. All right, just like how the scripture says, marvel not at the things of the skies. All right, because the heathens are dismayed at them, and they go out there and they worship the stars. Here it is, Esau, as clever as he thinks himself to be. Okay, here it is, he sees some moon. Okay, he sees the moon and he thinks the moon is the thing he's gonna bow down to. That's just a creation of the light that the Most High put up in the sky, man. You praise the creator of that. Okay, but see, here it is. You got the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They see that, they follow the way of the heathens. Now they're praising the creation, not the creator. Okay, but getting back onto the scriptures now. Isaiah, the 6th chapter on the 10th verse, it says, make the heart of this people fat, make their ears heavy, and shut up their eyes, that they see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and understand and convert and be healed. Because ultimately it's all about healing, man. Here it is, you got to destroy people. How you gonna heal those destroyed people? Okay, which is the question that everybody asks. Oh, you're coming out here for the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Well, how you gonna heal them? Well, hey, if they're of the elect, they're gonna understand the word and they're gonna be healed, man, spiritually. Okay, the physical healing is gonna come when Yahweh Shai comes. Because when Yahweh Shai comes, he's gonna put a foot upon the rulers in power right now, man. He's gonna destroy them, man. The scripture says he ain't gonna meet them as a man. He's gonna bring them down, man. Okay, the scripture talks about within the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments of Bozrah, him that, traveling in the glory of his strength. He says, I that is mighty to save, right, and speaking righteousness, all right, and Isaiah said to him, look, why is that, what's going on with your garment, man? All right, because historically speaking, your garment's usually, green, crisp, and clean. Now it's all red, like you've been stumping some grapes or something like that. And the Lord said, look, I've trodden the winepress alone, and of the people that was not with me, I shall destroy them. So that's what the Lord's coming to do, okay? That's where then the physical healing is going to be manifested before all of these people, man. It's going to be manifested, okay? It's going to be manifested, okay? It's gonna be manifested amidst all of these people. Because why? Because all of them powers are the power or top tier Edomites and all of they're gonna be crashed down. All of them so-called dainty nice buildings that you go all over this place, the Lord's gonna bring them down to the dust, man. Okay? By way of the chariots, by way of the ICBM nuclear missiles coming from all over the place, man. Okay, by way of the men of the Lord that's gonna be raised up with the spiritual power, all of them things is gonna be coming into play and affecting that time, man. Okay? So the scripture says here, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. It says, and then said I, how long, O Lord? Okay, so Isaiah said, look, goddamn, look, you know, when is this curse gonna? Because he's looking at the people and said, look, this is gonna be a destroyed people, man. Okay, so all right, it's gonna be a time span wherein this curse is gonna come off and they're gonna understand the scriptures and they're gonna be healed. So how long? And the Lord said this, and this is how you know it's talking about the two first, because as we're gonna see within the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter, on the 8th verse, okay, as we're gonna see, the 2/3 is actually gonna be destroyed, man. They're gonna be destroyed. Okay, but they're gonna come back on the other side as newborn babies, man. Okay? But getting on to the point, I was saying the 2/3 is gonna be destroyed, and here's the proof of that. This is talking about the 2/3. Okay? And says, then said I, how long? And he answered me and says, until the cities be laid waste. Okay? So the Lord set it up to where, you know, you got different guys like Blue, okay, which he calls himself Hard Rock Truth, and he's gonna be one of the softest guys you're ever gonna see, man. That's a marshmallow man right there, man. He ain't got the heart of a warrior right there, man. Okay, you call yourself Hard Rock Truth, and one of your main rebuttals is not going out in the cold. Come on, man. You know, that's just not right there. Okay, but getting back onto the point, you got individuals like that. Okay, you got individuals like that, and I lost my train of thought. Let me read that scripture right again. Right. So the scripture says, how long, O Lord? And the scripture says, till the cities be laid waste, right? Okay, and when you read in the book of Proverbs, the first chapter on the 26th verse, it goes into the fact that how the men of the Lord is going to be teaching. You're going to get certain guys that are going to come up and you're going to scoff against those men of the Lord. But the Lord's going to set it up that we get the last laugh. Well, that's the same thing that's talking about right there, because you're going to get it to where guys going to be, oh, ha, 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 look. You go wearing the jaw, you're out there in the cold, you're out there in the snow, all of that. They're going to come up with all kind of manner of madness. Okay, but the Lord's going to have it to where they're going to understand how crazy they were in their moment of their destruction, man. Okay, that's what the scripture says in the book of Proverbs, the first chapter on the 26th verse. They shall call upon me, but I ain't going to answer. Okay, they shall seek me early, but look, I ain't going to be there for them, because why? Because they were scoffing out there. Oh, look, with the sign, you think you're the Israelite, haha, and they walk off. That's their thing. Their whole thing is to come up against this word, man. But see, ultimately, the Most High is gonna have it to it. They're gonna be ashamed of the Samael. The scriptures talks about how in the kingdom they're gonna have everlasting content. Okay, they're gonna be looking at themselves sideways all the time, but they're gonna be in their right mind. They're gonna be living in palaces and so on and so forth, man. But it's gonna be in order, man. Okay, they're gonna follow the rank and file the Lord has set up for them, which is not to be the top guys, just to be Israelites. But just being an Israelite in the kingdom is gonna be a damn good thing. But for the rest of these heathens, they ain't gonna have shit, man. Okay, they ain't gonna have too much. All right, because we know Esau's his land's gonna be completely obliterated. We're gonna take all of his, because he as a people is gonna be destroyed. But for Elam, for Moab, for Japheth and so on and so forth, okay, they're gonna have their little piece here and there, man. They're gonna be okay. Okay, they're gonna be all right. They ain't gonna be employees. They're gonna be slaves. Okay, and we're gonna be dealing with them grievously, man. We're gonna be doing what we want with them, but they're gonna be a lot better than they are from within this society, because in the kingdom of the Most High, there ain't gonna be no mortgages, no rent, no look, what's yours is yours, but ultimately it's mine. Okay, if you understand the train of thought I was going there with. So let's go to the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse. All right, which speaks upon a similar point. Okay, so Zechariah, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse. Let's get to the point. Because Zechariah 13 and 8, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, that 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. So in all the land, you was going to have it to where 2/3 of Jake, 2/3 of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans is going to be destroyed. Okay, but you're going to have it to where 1/3 was going to be left therein. All right? So it says here, it shall come to pass that in all the land that 2 parts shall be thereof shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. But I'll bring the 3rd part through the fire. So when it talks about bringing the 3rd part through the fire, let's jump to the book of Ecclesiastes, the second chapter on the 1st verse, because the scriptures talk about adversities, man. Okay, that's going to be adversities was how a man was going to learn of the of cleanliness, man. That's how the Most High cleanses a person, man. Okay, and it's gonna say that within the book of Zechariah, Ecclesiastes, the second chapter, right here. All right, this is Ecclesiastes, the second chapter, on the first verse. It says, "My son, if thou will come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." So when you come into this thing, man, the Most High is going to put you in certain situations where you're going to be tempted to do certain things, man. Okay, you're going to be tempted to do certain things, so you're supposed to be preparing yourself to do that. How'd you prepare yourself? You live a simple life, man. Okay, you have what you need, and hey, the rest goes to the unit, man, goes to the fold. And then the Most High might give you more than the other brother and so on and so forth, but whatever, but you're supposed to be sharing that out, man, to the best of your ability. Okay? Going back onto the scriptures here, it says, set thy heart aright, so set your mind aright. So yeah, you're holding on to, the different things of the world. They ain't gonna do you no benefits, man. The scripture talk about how the love of this world is basically destruction, man. Okay, the scripture says, love not the world, neither the things they're in, because all that's in the world, lust, adultery, covetousness, okay, men pleasing themselves, okay. And that's just the essence of it. Those are the underlying iniquities. But how does that manifest? A dude that's pride is gonna come and kill his own brother, man. Okay, a dude that's covetous is gonna come and pop your woman, man. Okay, all of that. Or fornicators, dudes just worshiping all kind of different gods. You worshiping wooden stone, man, and saying that's his god. Okay, that's how it manifests itself in the physical. But it all goes back onto what? Covetousness, right? Pride. Okay, and so the words slip my mind right now, but you get the essence of what's being said right there, man. Okay, so back within the book of Ecclesiastes, the second chapter and the second verse, it says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure." So you're supposed to be in a persistent state of constantly enduring, man. Okay, you're supposed to be constantly enduring, man. Okay, the Most High might bring about a certain amount of adversity upon you. You're supposed to be look, hey, this is the time.